Alright, so today I'm just going to go over very briefly what the screen looks like when we are tuning vehicles. So I know some of you are curious to what the tables look like. So I'm just going to go over it pretty quickly. As you could see already, I have a file already open. This is for a 370Z, which I already pretty much know all of them by memory. Just by the ECU part number. So this here is a ECU part number for the Nissan Infinities, roughly 2000 and up. Obviously before that they're way different. So you just go to file and open and you select the file. So this is a completely stock file for this 370Z. It's actually for a 2020. So you can see the main tables right here. So let's just start with fuel. Here we have just what it says. So I'm basically going to repeat what it says. So you have some air fuel ratio calculations right here. You have some cranking tables, the MAF sensor, so mass airflow sensor. So you see M, A, F, and yeah, so a lot of you don't know that is the MAF sensor. Some of you do. That's fine. It's not a problem. If you have an upgraded MAF sensor, Uprev has some pre-calibrations on here. It'll get rid of, I don't know, 80% of the work. So they've done like 80% of the work for you. It's a rough estimate, but it'll save you some time. So these are just these two. There might be other companies out there, not too sure, but you don't have to use these if you know what you're doing. I generally don't use them because there's just so many scenarios on different like injectors and all that where this isn't really going to help you. So that's that. And then these are the subtables within the O2 table. So as you can see, this is all fuel. So let's go to another one. So here's more settings just for fuel. This is all fuel alone. So we're still in the fuel main table and the sub table. So fuel folder, so I'll say that this is the fuel folder and then the tables within it. So here we have the factory values for the fuel compensation on the cold start, and there's obviously more information to that, but it's just to show you guys what we're looking at. This is the main table once it's warmed up. Then you have your 3D map. This is the factory air fuel ratios that the computer is attempting to hit. So this is what it should be doing in a good to excellent condition, motor condition. So very healthy engine to good engine. This is actually what it hits. It should be hitting if you log it. So if you get a completely stock car and nothing's wrong with it, what you see right here is actually what is going to do 99% of the time, assuming nothing is wrong with the car. You start changing parts, then it's gonna still try and hit these values, but obviously that's not what is tuned. The computer's trying to compensate. But yeah, that's a long conversation. So this is the MAF values. So this is for your map 1. Obviously I'm not going to open them because they're all the same. So this is how you have the up to 5 maps on certain vehicles, so you can create up to 5 maps. So that's a quick look at the fuel folder. The ignition timing, this is how the factory ECU sees it. This is the burn rate, and as you can see, it says time for cylinder max pressure. So it's the VQs is not the traditional ignition timing. It calculates it differently. There's a different algorithm that Nissan created for the VQs. That's why a lot of tuners were confused a long time ago when they saw this table. They didn't really know how to tune the ignition system, but it's not that hard to use this. A lot of them never got used to it. Then Uprev was able to create their own algorithm, which makes this obsolete. You can still use it if you want, but I'll go over the new timing table, which makes it easier to tune the ignition timing. But this, honestly, it wasn't that hard. Like, it's not that hard. I don't know why they complained about it. I could tune on this all day long. I still remember how to use this. Like I said, a lot of tuners didn't know what they were doing with this table, and then there was those who did know, and that's really good. So this is the main one. Once it's warm, obviously it tells you right here. This is the burn rate, or the ignition timing that it was doing when it's cold. Then you have another folder for dwell, more ignitions for the burn rate, and then your ignition tables per map, which these are obsolete. Just trying not to confuse you, but usually this is not used anymore. This whole folder, you can say it's kind of just obsolete, but you actually could still use it for certain reasons, which I do sometimes. So ARC folder, here's where the new timing tables are at, so we'll get to that soon. This is the cam phasing, so this is a VHR. So obviously, again, these are the factory settings, the values. So you guys could take a look at it. Editing not recommended. Let's change it anyways. Rev limiter is pretty self-explanatory. Electronic throttle. Torque management. This one right here, just a quick, some quick information. If you don't know anything about tuning, you would think that maybe, oh, if you change some of the settings here, the car's gonna gain more torque. No, this is for the transmission. It doesn't have anything to do with Uprev. It could be a totally different software, a standalone system. The torque management is for the automatic transmissions. Utilities, let's just say you have like a flame map on map 5, but now you want it on 2. You could just swap them out. So let's just say I have it on 5 and now I want it on 2, but obviously all the settings are stock, so it just transferred from 5 to 2. Now let's get to the new algorithm that they created to replace the burn rate timing. So for map 1, this is the factory timing for the VHRs. They're the same throughout all the years. And of course, since it's all stock, all the tables are going to be the same. So as you can see, if I go back, it no longer shows the burn rate, which I'll go back over here. So you can see the values are totally different. And I'll put it side to side. So you guys can see how the computer works from the factory with the burn rate, and now the simplified timing, which is called ARC. So let's let me see, anything in here. Then you have your corrections right here. For manual transmission, you have your launch control settings. These are the default settings that Uprev put on there. I know different softwares have different settings. Some of them are default at 4,000. Uprev has a default 32, so you can just change it. Since it's adjustable through the steering wheel, you could just leave it at the default, but of course it's not a training video, so so let's close that. In general, then we have cooling, evap, gears, idle. It's like if you don't know like how to tune or something, and you just buy the Uprev cable, which I'm gonna go into some explanation on the differences. You can just mess around with this. You'll probably feel really good that you quote unquote tuned your car, even though all you do is change the idle. So once the car is warmed up, this is where it's supposed to idle. Cars don't idle perfect. The engine is spinning, so it's not just a steady 650, but you can adjust it. So let's just say like 750. Some tuners go up to 850, and it'll try to hit it. It'll try to hit this target. The most you could do, I think it's 3187, if I remember correctly. Let's see what it does. Yeah, 3187. I done it, and it's funny. It's funny. The car's just idling at 3,000, basically 3,200. So it'll be pretty funny to see if it was able to go to like 5,000. Use the flame map or something. It's just idling there, but I don't really have to undo the changes. I'm not gonna save the file, but so you can have different idles for up to 5 maps. I don't know why it's there, but at least you have the option for it. And then you have a lot more options over here. So misfire settings, more settings. Again, this is a VHR, so you have the VVL. Tables are here. They definitely recommend you do not touch the ones that say editing not recommended, but they're there. I honestly just don't even touch them, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Gotten a good amount of cars for VVL codes. They're already tuned by other people, and it's like, you know, they're touching some of these tables, but they don't know what they're doing. So just don't touch it. Like, just leave it alone. Like, you don't want to ruin anything. So I'm just going through these so you could see, even if you don't understand, it might be interesting to you or intriguing. Let's make this a little bigger. So you guys could see. Watt means wide open throttle. So yeah, maybe some of you might laugh and be like, oh, I knew that, but there's people that don't. So now you know. Some toggles right here, and then the arc toggles. So I'll probably talk about this a little bit pretty quick. So in order to use the simplified timing algorithm instead of the burn rate, you have to turn this on. If you leave it off, it doesn't matter what you change in this folder on this table. It's not going to do anything because It's not activated. You didn't tell it to turn on. So you have to turn this on. So, and then you can turn on launch control, which is for manual transmission only. So, yes, it's that simple to turn on launch control, but you need the ARC license, which as of right now, the ARC license is $100. You could see the price on Uprev's website. It won't let you flash the file. So if you try to flash it, it'll tell you that you don't have an ARC license on the cable. So you just have to make sure you have one. But other than that, it just doesn't do it. So this was a quick glance at the folders and the tables. So hopefully you guys like find it interesting or something. So now you know what we're looking at while we're tuning. And obviously some things are like self-explanatory, like, you know, fuels for fuel, rev limiters, flash. You flash it, you wait for it to upload. Real-time tuning, you can change most of the things while the car's still on. Some things are static, so you cannot adjust it while the car is on. You have to turn it off and upload the file, and then it'll accept the changes. And save just means you just save the file. Copy ECU data. This does not copy the tune so you can see what's in it as a tuner. So this button copies the ECU, yes, but you cannot open it. I cannot open it. Another tuner cannot open it. What it's doing is it's just directly copying or mirroring whatever is in the ECU directly, everything encoded. So if you try to open that file, the software cannot open it because it's not meant to read that. It's not programmed to read it. So this button is just maybe for Uprev to find glitches. If something's not working, you copy it, you send it to them. You can send them a copy of your file, your tune file. This is also for maybe a car, an ECU that's not supported yet. So what year is this? 2020. Oh, we're still in 2020. So let's just say the new Z comes out, which they're supposed to be called, what, the 400Z? I don't know, but the 400Z. So let's just say Nissan releases it. Well, Uprev does not have, or any other software, they don't have the ability to let us tune it because they haven't gotten their hands on a new ECU. So let's just say I get a customer that comes in and they want me to tune it. Well, it's not available to tune yet. It has to be looked into and patched, so they can create a file like this so we can change the parameters. So this button just copies everything exactly as it is in the ECU, and you could just send it to them and they'll work their magic. This is just has to do with this one. So once you're done copying it, you just submit it through here, and they'll contact you on that. So edit tune file, it just, once you click it, you select the file, for example this one, and this is what happens. So this one would pull up. Flash tune file, it's the same as this one here. Flash back to stock, that is going to delete everything. So you select flash back to stock, you locate the appropriate file, and it will give you a warning. It will tell you if you're sure you want to put it back to stock. It will delete everything and you will not get the license back. Logging and tracing is just that, it's for logging. And this screen right here, this is exactly what you guys are gonna see, even if you don't have an actual tuner cable or a pro tuner, any of those. The screens are the same right here. Tune transfer is just like, well, actually says it right here. That is, let's just say your current file is outdated, or you have like an old file and then there was an update for that file and then that file becomes obsolete. So you have to use a new file. Well, if you don't want to manually transfer everything over, which nobody really wants to, is too much to do. You just select here. Well, my cable's not connected right now, but you just select that. It'll ask you to select the old file that you can't use anymore, and then you open up the new file and then you just transfer it, and then you don't have to transfer everything manually, because as you saw, that was a lot of stuff depending on what you touched. Refresh cable, I know I skipped that one. Refresh cable, it's just if you have a bad connection or something, you just click that and it'll start detecting the ECU again. Check trouble codes. Some of you don't know what trouble codes are, so it's also known as DTC. Those are the check engine light codes. So you just select it. I'm not connected to an ECU right now, but you select it and you could just scan for code, just like a scanner. It does only work for whatever the software supports. So if you hook this up to Honda, it's not going to do anything because it's not programmed for that. It's not really a universal scanner. Get tune and stock files. This one should be able to open. So this is well, I'm not connected to the internet right now, but you can either download a file directly from Uprev's website, the stock file, or you could just type it in here, hit search, it'll find it for you. You could just download it directly from here, which 99% of the time it's just done through here. So I'm going to briefly talk about the cable differences. So let's start with the one that costs the least, $225. The Uprev interface cable, that's what that version is called. If you buy it from here, it does not have a reflash license. It does not have a ARC license. It's just the cable. And then the software, obviously, you just download it from Uprev's website. So the interface cable, again, no Uprev reflash license, no ARC license. You can use it to upload tunes. You can use it to data log. You can use it to scan for codes. So you cannot open any tune files at all if you're trying to tune your own car. That version of the cable does not allow you to do that. So I'm going to close this. So your screen will look the same, exactly the same, like I said earlier. If you try to click this, it says that you just don't have access to do that. So you'll be able to check for codes. You can add a ARC license and a reflash license if you want to, if you need it. So that's just what that cable does. It's real basic. You cannot tune on it, but you can definitely upload tunes and check for codes, and you can like data log or a friend's car or something if you know what you're doing. Or if you don't, you just want to look at the numbers, make yourself look smart or something. Uprev tuner. Let's go on there. So let's check this out. So the Uprev tuner, it allows you to do everything that the basic interface cable does, but you can also tune your own car. It does come with a reflash license. It does not come with the ARC license. You have to add that in there manually. You can add it in later. So then you will have the ability to tune your own car, and you're gonna see the ROM file with all the folders and the tables that I showed you earlier. So that's pretty much it. Those are the differences between the two. Then there's a third cable, but between the basic interface cable and the tuner one. That's the difference. You can tune with one, you cannot tune with the other. Then there's the third cable, which is not exactly available to just anybody. So I'm going to explain it to you because there's a lot of confusion. Sometimes I'll get messages and people will tell me, oh, I have the Pro Tuner cable. Can you help me on this? Well, I don't offer tech support for tuning, and neither do they. So, you know, it's an assumption that you already know how to tune. That's why you're buying it. Or if not, you're going to learn. I mean, you have a teacher or something, or you do what I did and you're self-taught. You learned everything on your own. Then that's great. So there are some minor differences from my cable, which is the Pro Tuner cable, and the Uprev Tuner cable. So Uprev Tuner is what anyone could just go in and buy. The Uprev Pro Tuner have specific requirements that is needed for that. So I just have some more options that are not shown in this video. So the cable that was in there right now is actually this one, the Uprev Tuner. So it was not the Pro Tuner cable that was connected, but it does have its differences. Alright, then so you guys are not confused, I'm just gonna give you some information about this one. As you can see, this one is called the Uprev Standard. So the price is in between. The other one's $225. The other one, I think it's at $775. This one's $550. So what is the difference? The difference is just this one already comes with a reflash license. So the one that's $225, it's literally just the cable. There's no license inside. The Uprev Standard comes with a bass tune and 3 E-tune adjustments, as it says here. This is only for Uprev, so you buy it from them. They're gonna tune your car if you want them to. If you buy this, you just email them, to start your tune. If you don't email them, well, then they're not gonna send you anything. So this one, again, it's the cable and the license and the bass tune and the up to 3 E-tune adjustments if needed. But this is all on them. Some people will buy this and they'll have it tuned by somebody else. I just recommend you add the ARC license. So in the end, it'll be $650 because the ARC license is $100. All right, and this right here, there's actually a lot of people that do not know about this. You could just go to Uprev's website, go to dealers and tuners. It'll bring you to the screen, and you just like zoom in or out to your location, and it'll show you all the authorized tuners, dealers or tuners with Uprev. So we are in California, and you can just search for it, and you can find the closest tuner near you. And this is about it for this video. I think this is one of my longer videos. So hopefully, again, you guys find it interesting and knowledgeable. Is that the right word? I don't know. Anyways, well, thanks guys. Hopefully I post another video pretty soon. Have a good day.